Joining me now is Adrian Award, a volunteer with Global Medic locally and internationally. He's also a professional firefighter in the Durham region. Adrian, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Have you had a chance to talk to anybody on the ground there on how things are going? Firefighters, are they finally starting to get any kind of an upper hand down there?
I unfortunately personally have not had any contact with anybody down on the ground, but I know our organization, GlobalFire, is in contact with fire departments in the LA area.
And what are they saying? Have you heard from what they're saying?
Yeah, there's been no containment to this fire. It's still, as you can see on the footage, it's still really out of control, and they're struggling to get in front of it.
It must be an almost overwhelming task to be confronted by that, and then some of the issues that they faced about the hydrants possibly running dry.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the obstacles that they're dealing with down there with the budget cuts as well. I could speak more on the structural firefighting side, which I'm a structural firefighter, so this type of firefighting is remote to me, but the pictures coming out of the LA are just unimaginable.
But even, I mean, it's now hit so many neighborhoods. How would you even try to contain a fire that's devouring entire neighborhoods?
It's just trying to get ahead of it as best you can and stop those smaller fires from growing into these larger fires, which leads us to the type of help that we're willing to help LA fire departments.
And now with Global Medic, are you guys down there? You're looking at heading down there?
GlobalFire is looking to deploy down there. We have some units standing by. We have these skidded units that are a 1,000-liter tank of water with a fire pump and fire hose that can be inserted in back of regular pickup trucks and essentially turning those pickup trucks into miniature fire trucks that could access remote areas and get ahead of these fires and go to places that the larger, more typical fire trucks can't reach.
And how many of those will be available?
We have 6 right now ready to go. With daily flights to LAX, we can be deployed as early as tomorrow. And if we need to ramp up, that's also a possibility. We can work with the fire departments in LA and we can scale up our deployment.
And how many people would you be sending down? How many people would go down?
To be determined at this point. We'll start off with a small team because essentially we'll be taking the equipment down, training the fire departments down there how to use them, and basically handing it off to the fire departments to go out and deploy and fight the fires.
Are these relatively new?
These types of units have been used in the fire service over the last few years. It's becoming more popular with the uptake in forest fires. Recently, I was actually in Bolivia making these units locally down there with a local partner, and was able to help fight the Amazon fires in Bolivia.
And what makes them effective?
Just the fact that these vehicles can get into areas that your typical fire trucks can't get to, like off-road. Like your typical fire truck is meant to be on pavement, so these trucks can go off-roading. They're a little bit lighter, more maneuverable. And again, it's just all about getting ahead of these larger fires and stopping the small ones from getting to that bigger point.
And that's the situation right now, is even just trying to contain anything.
Correct. And this will allow, if we can increase the fleet of fire apparatus down in LA, it's able to allow the fire department to use their personnel and spread them out over a wider area, again, to try and contain this fire before it gets even worse than it is.
Okay, well, hopefully, Adrian, you get the call. And my apologies that we said Global Medic, which is another great group, but you're GlobalFire, so our apologies for that mix-up.
Sister organizations.
Okay, good. And you guys both of you do some wonderful work. But thank you for talking to us today, Adrian.
Thanks for having us.
Adrian Award is a volunteer with GlobalFire locally and internationally and a professional firefighter in Durham outside of Toronto.